what do you think? What are the biggest mistakes you see grooming business owner making, like when they're specifically trying to scale their business?
Grow too fast, too quickly.
Okay.
Um, I made
Yeah.
that mistake.
Okay.
When you try to grow too quickly, it's and you take on more than you can
But you
handle.
can do, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Don't grow too fast.
mm.
Understand that having a having multiple locations or having another location means you're going to be pulled in multiple directions.
Wow.
And
Mm,
if you don't have a solid team in one location,
mm.
you're
And
not going to
also
be
like
able to
keeping the
recreate
quality of the
that.
service same across the location would be become
Yep.
impossible.
And again, it comes back to that hiring. You're not just hiring a groomer, hire somebody that fits into your work culture. Well, it starts at the bottom to be recognized as a trade, to be recognized as a formal, we're not even seen as a formal skill level by government standards. I mean, we're just
Wow.
lumped together under pet industry services. So we're all kind of lumped together, but to be able to stand out, like with anything, you have to have that formal background. You have to have that formal education.
Hey guys, before I start the podcast, a quick introduction. My name is Varnit and I'm the founder of Pet Excel Marketing. Pet Excel Marketing is a marketing agency that specifically works with pet businesses. Over the years, we have worked with pet food brand, pet relocation businesses, pet SaaS companies, pet clothing brand, cat food businesses, dog grooming services, and many other product and service-based pet businesses globally. Our services includes everything from creating graphics to running your ad campaign. Not only that, we have built amazing websites and apps for pet businesses. So if you have a pet business and would like us to help grow it, click on the first link in the description to book a call with our team. Now enjoy the podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pet Brand Podcast, the show where we would sit down and with the most inspiring founders, innovators, and leaders shaping the future of the pet industry. I'm your host Varnit, and every week we dive deep into the stories, strategies, and lessons that help pet brand founders start, grow, and scale successful businesses. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome someone who has truly redefined what professional grooming education looks like. Dara Forleo is the founder and president of the Whole Pet Grooming Academy, a department of education approved career school that's raising the bar for grooming professionals across the country. She's also a host of the Business of Pet Care, a national TV show helping pet owners and industry pros separate fact from fiction in a field, which is often clouded by misinformation. So in this conversation, we are going to explore how she built WPGA from the ground up, the strategy behind its growth, how she's helping groomers become confident entrepreneurs, and what the future of the pet care industry looks like. So, without further ado, let's dive into the conversation. Dara, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Definitely, definitely. And yeah, I mean, like, every impactful brand, begins with a story. Usually a moment when a founder realizes something, crucial is missing in the world. So, Dara, can you take us back to the moment you decided to create the whole pet grooming academy? And like, what problem in the pet industry were you aiming to solve?
Well, it's really there's two things because we had a huge rebrand. So, opening the school back 10 years ago, I actually knew back in the 90s when I went to grooming school, there was a better way of teaching. I am by heart, by nature, a serial scholar, as I like to deem
Wow.
myself. If I could be a full-time paid college student, like bring it on. I want to learn it all. I want to know it all.
Wow.
Especially when it comes to business, because business school doesn't teach you what you need to know about business, for one thing. But that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
Um, but so I knew then it was when I went to grooming school, it was severely lacking. I learned the hands-on. I didn't learn any theory. There was nothing about why I was doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
Only that this is how you do it, and this is what you need to do. And for me, theory goes hand in hand. You can't know how to if you don't know how a car runs, how do you fix it? So you have to have that background and
Yeah.
that theory aspect, and
Mm-hmm.
and there wasn't any of that there. So I took a number of years of learning the why, and then opened the school. So
Hmm.
it kind of all fell into play, and the industry being unregulated, which I know a lot of people talk about that and don't understand that this is a we need to be held to higher standards. Standards are dogs should not be being injured in a grooming shop.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't happen. There's no reason for it to
Hmm.
happen.
Hmm.
And it happens because people are undereducated
Hmm.
and don't know the whys
Yeah,
and
yeah,
don't think that animal it's not just a number. So um there needs to be changes, and that I saw that growing up. I saw that changing, and the industry is not changing fast enough to keep
yeah,
up
yeah.
with the growth and the demand of
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
pet industry
Hmm.
itself.
Yeah.
So
No.
that's the biggest problem is the grooming industry is a very small sector of a much larger picture in the pet industry. And everybody else is growing except the grooming industry. And I feel like we're almost we're not taking those steps to get further ahead,
Yeah,
and it's because there's not enough venues for that.
yeah,
So no fault, I'm not trying to say that it's anybody's fault. It's just that there's too many hands in a pot that's not helping, because nobody's coming together to say, how do we fix this? How do we grow? How do we grow together? Nobody wants to do that. I don't want to do it.
definitely, definitely. And
Nobody wants to do it. It's going to take a much larger state, federal
yeah,
regulations to make that happen. And that's what should happen. It
yeah,
shouldn't be the industry doing it itself.
yeah.
Um, so I
Love,
don't know. Is
love,
that where you wanted to go with this?
love the answer. Love the answer. And since since you often emphasize raising the bar in the pet care education, obviously. So what kind of resistance or pushback have you faced in that effort?
I don't think that there is a lot of pushback. There's a lot of pushback because why do we need it? The industry is not regulated. Nobody cares that I have a formal diploma. Nobody cares that pet owners don't look at that and go, where'd you get your training? But are they, I mean, or are pet owners looking for who's the cheapest groomer out there because I have four doodles and they're really hard to take care of and it's really expensive to get my doodles
Definitely,
groomed.
definitely, yeah.
So are they just looking for a price point, or
Hmm.
are they looking for standards and education? When you think about the number of groomers in this country, which is a very small number, we're still under
Wow,
300,000 groomers nationwide. Now,
wow.
there are how many dogs licensed? Do we
Hmm.
know that number? Do we know? I believe that there is about 81 million dogs licensed in the
Crazy,
United States,
crazy.
and there are less than 300,000 groomers.
Hmm.
How many dogs per groomer can we take care of? Dogs are getting hurt at a higher number because there's not enough of us to go around. There's not enough time to train us properly. You can't turn a groomer around in 6 weeks. It doesn't happen. You can't learn a skill in 6 weeks. A contractor does not go out and build a house on his first outing. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
he's got to start somewhere and learn how to put that structure together, how to build that foundation,
Hmm.
how to put the walls up, how to cover the roof properly, the
Yeah,
angles.
yeah,
They need to know more than cutting or slapping it together and making it look like a pretty picture.
yeah, yeah. Got
it,
it.
it doesn't happen. We need
Mhm.
to it takes a long time to train a groomer.
Definitely, definitely. And a big
Six
part,
weeks, 8 weeks is not enough.
yeah, definitely. And a big part of the challenge, it comes from a perception. Many still view grooming as just a trade, rather than a profession, like you said. So how do credentials and formal education help groomer earn that respect and recognition they deserve?
Well, it starts at the bottom to be recognized as a trade, to be recognized as a formal, we're not even seen as a formal skill level by government standards. I mean, we're just
Wow.
lumped together under pet industry services. So we're all kind of lumped together, but to be able to stand out, like with anything, you have to have that formal background. You have to have that formal education. That
Hmm.
has to come from somewhere. And when there are not enough schools teaching, because it's hard to do that and there's not enough time to do it, somebody you learn on the job, and on the job doesn't give you the credentials.
Hmm.
So getting those credentials, there are a number of ways you can do that. You can be certified. We have plenty of organizations that do certifications,
Hmm. Hmm.
but a certification is only as good as that's continuing education and that you're renewing that year to year. It's not meant to be forever. You don't get to keep a certification forever. You don't keep your driver's license forever.
Yeah.
Somebody holds you accountable for that, right?
Mhm.
You got to play by the rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so those are the first steps in getting there is get that education.
Got it.
Nobody's saying what you do is wrong. What
Hmm.
we're saying is back it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. And one of the unique aspect of WPGA is how deeply it's rooted in science, from behavior to skin and coat health, right? What role do those elements play in modern grooming education? Why do you think they are often overlooked?
Because you have to know the whys. If
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
learning why you're working on a coat, or
Mm,
what kind of coat texture, or
mm,
what products to properly use. It's not just every shampoo works on every coat. It doesn't work like that.
yeah.
Behavior is not just sit, stay, down, come. It's understanding that that animal on your table is a being, and it shouldn't be hanging and strung up, and we shouldn't have to manipulate their bodies so that we can make them have perfect haircuts. That's that's not humane treatment. That's not humane handling.
Yeah.
Um, we should be able to see that what a side eye looks like and understand
Mm,
that dogs come in fearful. Not all dogs, but a lot of dogs come in. It's different. Um, they're comfortable at home on their couches. They're not comfortable on a table. And there's
mm,
some thoughts that people say, a dog that's groomed every 4 weeks,
mm.
that grooming becomes part of their life.
Yeah.
A dog that's groomed every 4, 6, 8, 1 months, once a year, it's not part of their it's not part of their
They're natural.
life. It's not,
Yeah. Mm,
it doesn't become routine for them. So those are the animals that process is that's not fun. I don't want to go to the groomer. I don't want to go just to get my yearly shave down or my yearly de-shed.
yeah.
That to them, that's a scary out of their
Experience.
element.
Yeah.
That'd be like taking somebody and going, okay, we're going skydiving today. you and we're going to jump out of an airplane, and you're going to do it today, but you
Yeah.
hate flying.
Yeah.
But you're going to jump out of that plane and you are deathly afraid of heights and flying. Let's go. You going to make somebody do that?
Yeah. Imagine if somebody's just chilling on a sofa and they're like, let's go. Let's go
Let's go. I
skydiving.
booked that plane. We're going. Or better yet, hey, let's go. I got us a hot air balloon. We're going to bungee jump out of it.
God.
Right? I mean, that's what you're
Crazy.
doing to the dog. You're
Yeah.
saying, come on, let's go. We're going to go get groomed today. You haven't
Yeah.
been groomed in 12 months.
Uh-huh.
You're going to love it. You're going to feel so much better. That dog is going, oh, hell no.
Yeah,
Last thing I want
definitely.
to do is walk out of my house into a car because I hate going for car rides. I
Hmm.
don't ever leave the house. And now I'm going into a salon that has loud noises, all kinds of chaos going on. There are people I don't know everywhere. And you think I'm going to enjoy this? Yeah. It's gonna make a dog snap. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
it's not okay. Cats are the same
Definitely.
way. You can't just go, oh gosh, I think today's the day I'm gonna take Susie for grooming. She's never been groomed in her life. She's 15 years old. Look at all these
Yeah.
mats. Let's go take her to
Yeah.
the groomer.
Mm.
That cat's going to be like, oh, what did you just do to me?
Yeah.
So we got to teach our owners that those things are very, very scary. It takes time. Again, to create a great grooming dog,
Mm.
it's not 6 weeks, it's a year.
Definitely.
It's a year of skill, just like any great groomer.
Mm.
It takes them a long time to learn their skill and trade. So,
Mm. Mm.
again, knowing that why, understanding and putting yourself in that dog's perspective of what's going on, that's a lot of chaos. That's a lot of sensories. That's a lot of and for a new groomer coming in that doesn't think like that because they are so focused on the job at hand.
Yeah.
I am so focused on, oh
Mm.
my God, I got to make this dog look perfect.
Mm.
And to think and then be standing over them going, so what's the life cycle of a flea? Do you know that fleas can lay up to 20,000 eggs and blah, blah, blah? And you're
Yeah.
telling, they're like, I'm just trying to clipper this dog. Like, why am I learning this right now when I am trying to focus on where my hand is and what this
Yeah.
dog is doing? And you're
Yeah.
telling me that that one little flea could possibly lay 20,000 eggs right now on this dog? Oh my God, my mind is blown.
Mm.
They can't take that all in. So
Yeah.
you gotta do things differently. You gotta slow it down and set it up and set that year up properly for a new entry level groomer
Definitely.
coming in. And
Definitely.
as an industry, we have to train them.
Yeah.
It's our
Yeah.
duty.
Mm.
Nobody's coming into this industry. We're losing groomers faster than we're gaining them.
Yeah. Mm.
And that's why you see everyone is hiring. Every single company is hiring. And
Mm.
there are so many pop up companies coming in. People coming out of corporate going, I'm done with my job. What's next? Oh, let's open a grooming shop. That's a great idea. There are a ton of dogs. Yeah.
Mm.
I groom my pets at home. I can do that.
Yeah.
And then they got all these little micro pop-up shops everywhere. So many of them coming in all over. I
Mm.
don't have a clue what they're doing and trying to say, oh, we're just going to hire groomers. You and everybody else, you're all fighting for the same people.
Got it.
The good
Got it.
ones stay where they're at and open
Mm.
their own places.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So where are you pulling?
talking more about the building and scaling WPGA, building a DOE approved career school that you're talking
Oh,
about,
yeah.
from scratch is definitely not a small
Mhm.
feat, right? Especially in a niche like
No.
grooming. What early strategies helped you grow WPGA? Can I say WPGA or should I use
Yeah,
the
yeah.
full?
That's what we go by, the WPGA. Yep.
Okay, I
Yep.
thought that I might make a mistake, but like, should you use
No,
full?
no, no, no. You're right.
So
Um,
what early strategies helped you to grow WPGA from just an idea into a now a recognized institution?
so I like play I play by the rules by a lot of things. There are a lot of things I like to color outside the lines too. But I like structure
Yeah.
and I like organization. And I don't like chaos. And so when you're going through to open a school, people are like, oh, anybody can open a grooming school. Yeah, anybody can open a grooming school. You're right. Anybody can. Anybody can do anything they want. But it took 3 years to get my license. It's not
Wow.
easy. There are a lot of levels
Mm,
of getting
mm,
your curriculum written out,
mm,
submitting it in, finding instructors that meet state level. Again, you're talking about an industry that is not recognized or licensed. So they go, who are you to say you're an expert at what you do? How can you prove that?
mm.
How do you justify just by saying, "Oh, well, I've been grooming for 15 years."
Yeah.
Okay, what's your background? Oh, I was self-taught. I watched YouTube videos and learned on YouTube. You could do that. That's great. I mean, there are very talented groomers who can do that. But how do you justify? Where do you
Yeah.
get to that point where you
Yeah.
go, but now I can open a school and I can train somebody or I can teach somebody this because I learned this way. So we had to justify to the state and present to the state why we are experts in what we do, why we are leaders in what we do, and had to show that by our bios and our resumes and our
Yeah.
training. And they don't just go, oh, this is nice, cute, okay, you can clean, you can, here's your license. They did a lot of background checks, and then there's the insurance aspect of it, where schools need to be insured properly. It's not just insuring
Mm.
a grooming salon, you're also ensuring education. So you have to have that education background and that education level of insurance,
Wow.
which not all companies do that. There are underwritings specifically for that. That is another level. So you have two different insurance policies covering one school system.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a long time to get that into play. It doesn't just happen overnight, and there are a lot of fees. It's not cheap.
Definitely, definitely.
It is not cheap. It costs money to get that done, not just time, but your time goes into it. So making sure all of that is there.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a very lengthy process, and one that is meticulously maintained year
Mm.
by year, because you submit in everything.
Mm.
Once our students are graduated, their diplomas get stored, and everything is held at a
Wow.
formal education level with the state. It's not just here's your certificate.
But
They
again,
want to know
that's
what.
what stands you out. Like that's how you stand out in the market, right?
Yeah, yeah, we've taken the steps to make things, and the learning process over the last 10 years of seeing
Definitely.
the shift, and now having a transcript and having a GPA and tracking all of this,
Wow.
because
Wow.
that just students don't just graduate and get that piece of paper. They know where they stand when they graduate, just like
Wow.
in anything. Not everybody is an A student, and not everybody can pass. It happens. And people might, and I think the industry, we go back to that backlash of it, is
Yeah.
people like to quickly judge grooming schools based on what's going out there. And people in the industry don't think about, but not everyone is the same. Not everyone learns the same, and not
Definitely. Yeah.
everyone can be a valedictorian.
Yeah.
You have D students, and those D students are going out into the workforce just as much as those A students are.
Yeah.
And those valedictorians, and those are probably not the students that you're seeing in a normal everyday running shop, because those valedictorians, I'm sorry if you hear my dogs barking,
No, no, no.
but
Not
okay,
really.
good. Those valedictorians are going off and making their own way, whereas students that still need nurturing and still need guidance and after graduating are going into more entry level positions. So
Wow.
judging a school based off of that, you
You can't
can't,
do that.
because
Mm.
not everyone's going to an Ivy League school, and not everyone's going to go to a community. There's all kinds of different levels of
Definitely,
graduations.
definitely, definitely. And one of the most impressive outcome of WPGA is how many graduates, go on. Just you're talking about how many go to become business owners, authors, and
Mhm.
leaders, right? So how intentional was that result, like when you were designing the program?
It wasn't at all. My intention was to create more groomers and to get more groomers into the workforce.
Yeah.
And we're doing it, but we're more of a boutique school. We're definitely more of, even when we were teaching in person and hadn't gone to the remote training online, which again, we now do not teach entry level. So we're not teaching, if you don't have years in the industry,
Wow.
we're probably not the school for you. We'll
Wow.
help guide you, but we're teaching groomers that are now looking to specialize or um, elevate themselves to another level.
Wow.
We have more specialized programs
Mm.
and more to help shops and help businesses do their own onboarding training. There's no onboarding. Very, very, very if any, onboarding training. I like to, when I'm kind of talking and it's going on a tangent, but
Yeah.
our business owners are learning how to train their own groomers and how to effectively keep themselves productive
Yeah.
with bringing in others workforce
Yeah.
and getting other people into the workforce. So
Mm.
that is that level of difference that we do is you're
Wow.
coming to us. Our students that have graduated in the past are coming back going, now what, Dara? What's our next step? Where are we going next?
Yeah.
And have multiple diplomas because they're like, we got this, we got our foundation. Now I'm ready to put that roof on. Now I've got my structure, I've got my years in the industry. What's next? How do I make myself even better?
Yeah.
So our students tend to come back repeatedly for multiple diplomas.
Wow. Wow. Love it. Love it.
And that is unusual. We definitely have a
Definitely.
uniqueness that is not common to the industry.
Definitely, definitely. And like for many listening, especially aspiring founders, building something with lasting impact is definitely the ultimate goal. So what advice would you give on creating a business model that delivers long-term results rather than just like short-term profit?
You have to be flexible. You got to know that if you have that business mind frame, that business owner entrepreneurial spirit, you got to be willing to take risks. Risk taking is
Yeah.
huge. You
Yeah.
just you have to do it, and you have to be able to envision. I like to talk to
Mm.
the business owners that I work with that, right now is great, but we're not working on right now. We're working on 5 years from now. You can't stay in the now because the now is yesterday. And you have to be 5 and 10 years ahead of what's going on. And I'm always thinking down the road,
Wow.
what's next? What's
Mm.
next? What's next?
Mm.
Because now is gone. And you don't stay ahead when you're only in the now.
Yeah. And how do you keep yourself updated? Like what's going to happen in the future?
Oh, I do so many classes. I'm in
Wow.
my MBA right now,
Crazy.
um, going through, because you need those next levels.
Definitely.
Um, I look at it in terms of as a business owner and somebody who owns a school, I need to be I need to be more advanced than the people I'm teaching. And if I'm
Definitely.
not more advanced than them, if I'm not staying ahead myself, how can I bring it back to my
Love
business?
it. Love it. Love it.
And so, yeah, you've got to think about those in terms.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I hear a lot of people when we come in and when we're talking to students, and they're like, "But I don't have time. But I don't have time. How do I fit this in my schedule?" Okay, let's step back and look at this and go. I run a school.
Wow.
I actually have another two. We have a couple other businesses that I have my hands into,
Yeah.
family businesses, and
That's not related
uh,
to pet businesses. That's separate.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Those
So
are separate
family
businesses, not related to pet.
not related to pet,
Oh,
right?
got
Yeah,
it. Amazing.
yeah. So yeah, I got a couple other irons in the fire too on the side that I do,
And you
and
still have time for podcasts as well.
podcast and my MBA. I mean that
Wow.
I'm going to school full time, and
Amazing.
so if I can do it, you can do it. And I do family things, and yeah, do I work around the clock? I do, but I love it.
Wow.
I love the business side of things. And when
Mm-hmm.
you're passionate about it, I could geek out on business all day long with people. Like
Yeah, yeah.
bring in those ROIs and bring in those KPIs and let's talk down and dirty, right?
Love
Like
it.
it doesn't happen in our industry very
Yeah,
often because
yeah.
we're very, very
Very passionate about it's like,
passionate about the pets and the animals.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, so I get it. I totally get it. And people like their specialization, and that's what we do is create
Mhm.
the uniqueness in them.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to see more business owners like me going, I want to work on the business. I don't want to be hands-on grooming all day long. I want to be that's working in the business, right? I want to be
Definitely.
working on my business. How do I get, that's what I love about our business, our students that have graduated is so many have gone on and done other things because they're
Wow.
like, well, if Derek can do it, I can do it.
Wow. Wow.
Right? Yeah, you can.
Definitely. And another thing that sets you apart is you are also the host of the Business of Pet Care TV show, right? So how has that media exposure, helped amplify WPGA's mission and credibility in the industry?
We have not launched it yet. We're still in our first
Okay,
production
okay, okay,
phase,
okay,
so we're our first 6 episodes will be coming out very soon.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so that is brand new. It's just gonna be we're still they're still looking for we're still taking in to get some episodes recorded before we launch it fully.
Love
So
it,
there's
love
some
it.
out there.
Okay, got
So
it, got it.
yeah, but I
And
piggyback on that because I like being active on LinkedIn, and that's where
yeah,
we met on LinkedIn. I think
definitely.
LinkedIn is where I like being, and
Yeah,
that's how I got this particular show. Also, is through
definitely. Yeah.
engagement on LinkedIn.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And many pet business founder who might be listening to this podcast right now, they feel overwhelmed by marketing. If someone is struggling to grow their brand, like what do you think? Like, what's one strategy would you recommend to them so that they can focus on that basics first, then they can
Yep.
expand?
So I've been taking a lot of marketing classes of late because it's very expensive to hire a marketer.
Definitely.
And it is. And I appreciate what the marketing companies do and how I am mind boggled by what is
What goes
happening.
behind the scenes?
Yes, it is unbelievable. So I would say, and this I'm going to go into what I teach to in some minor marketing to our business owners that are in
Wow.
our community right now
Okay. Do you have like a
is
specific course as well inside the community, like which specifically
I
talk about
do a
marketing?
small
Wow.
yeah, so I do a small again, I am not by no means I am not an expert on marketing. I've got probably enough knowledge to be dangerous.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, all those
But
years of experience.
yeah, I liked, and I had a love hate with I have a love hate with social media.
Okay.
Um, I know that everyone's like, you got to do videos, you got to do videos, and I'm like, I do so many videos because I have to record seminars and all kinds of stuff. So trying to get on, it's like, okay, I just got to bite the bullet and do it. So I say, just do the videos. But for social media, you have to know when one thing I wish I had known when I opened in 2006, my first business coming out of business school.
Hmm.
I wish I had known that I needed to have a ideal customer persona
Okay.
and
Hmm.
that I needed to be marketing specifically to
Very
that
specific. Yeah.
person, not just anyone
Anybody.
with a dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish that one key, again, 20 almost 20 years ago,
Wow.
um, if I had known then what I know now, right? Hindsight. But, and social media really wasn't still, I mean, I think
Yeah.
Facebook, I don't even know. I don't know if I was even on Facebook in 2006 at
Yeah.
that point. But if I had realized then and known enough about marketing to have that one rule of thumb to say I
Wow.
need to have a customer persona
Hmm.
um and to think about my brand and my mission statements and my uniqueness and the problem that I'm going to be
Hmm.
solving if I
Hmm.
had known that, and that's what I teach to
To your
my
students
students,
now.
to
Yeah.
my coaching business owners
Love
is
it.
you're not just looking for you're not just looking for anybody with a dog. You're looking for a specific person. And I would say that too for even hiring
Hmm.
groomers.
Hmm.
One thing I see is everyone right now is trying to hire the exact same person. And you're not trying to just hire a groomer. You are trying to hire a team member who is going to be part of your family, and they have to fit in to your work culture, not your work environment, your work culture. And that makes a huge difference when you have all of those little segments. Even as a small business owner or a solopreneur, you just have to have that set up and confident in it, because
Hmm.
that's who you're trying to attract as a customer.
Hmm. Hmm.
Is that what you
Definitely.
were looking for?
Yeah, definitely. Love the answer. Uh, what do you think? Like, what do you think? What are the biggest mistakes you see grooming business owner making? Like when they're specifically trying to scale their business.
Grow too fast, too quickly.
Okay.
Um, I made
Mm.
that mistake.
Okay.
When you try to grow too quickly,
Mm.
it's and you take on more than you can
What you
handle.
can do? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Don't grow too fast.
Mm.
Understand that having a having multiple locations or having another location means you're going to be pulled in multiple directions.
Wow.
And
Mm.
if you don't have a solid team in one location,
Mm.
you're
And
not going to
also
be
like
able to
keeping the
recreate
quality of the
that.
service same across the location would be become
Yep.
impossible.
And again, it comes back to that hiring. You're not just hiring a groomer. Hire somebody that fits into your work culture.
Mm.
That's going to fit in. And I really think there's something to be said about that.
Yeah. Yeah. As someone, who's been shaping the grooming industry for decades now, you obviously have a unique perspective on where it's headed. So where do you see the pet care and grooming industry evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
Hopefully, to formal education.
Yeah.
No. Well, I think that we're seeing a lot of franchises popping up.
Hmm,
We're
hmm.
seeing a lot of small companies going national. We're seeing a
Wow.
lot of corporations buying up
Hmm, hmm.
small spaces. And it's really hard for small grooming shops to be competitive against larger companies.
Hmm, hmm.
Um, so I think that we need to reach more of those smaller locations and teach them they need to level up. We need those small locations to level up, and we need our corporates and our bigger chains to listen up. They need to start doing things properly, because they're not.
Yeah, yeah. I had the CEO, maybe he was the CEO or like managing director of Paragon Pet Grooming. You know
Mhm,
about that? Yeah. And
mhm, yep.
he said that in a specific interval, he said that pet groomers who are experienced, highly experienced pet groomer, they can make around $100,000 per year. So is that figure exact, or is it something like very aspirational?
So I think there are a small percentage of groomers that can do that.
Yeah. Mm.
And uh, but that's a real you got to look at location.
Okay. Mm.
You're not going to make $100,000 in a small community in Idaho.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
You're not going to do it.
Hmm.
You got to look at location. Maybe in larger cities where they are getting higher pay, states that have a higher um, minimum wage, but the majority of the industry is still well below
Yeah. Hmm.
60,000 a year.
Yeah.
It's a hard job.
Definitely.
And
Mm.
unless we are truly recognized as a trade, those numbers aren't going to come
Going
up.
to up. Yeah.
There are groomers that can do it, absolutely. Business owners who do it, yes, but it's not your everyday groomer that's working in a small shop.
Hmm. Yeah.
Then you got the daycares.
Okay. Mm.
I bet at a corporate they could get close to that if they're a manager or in the upper levels
Okay.
of
Mm.
being inside the corporation, but
Mm.
not doing the physical. job.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Lovely.
there are levels, but you got to look at it from the outsider's point of
Other,
view
yeah.
and look at it from
Mm.
that area. Where are they working? How are they doing it?
Yeah.
Are they actually doing the physical job and making that much money? Probably
Mhm.
not, unless
Okay.
they own their own business.
Mm.
And then that's going to be it's hard.
Love.
It's not easy, and people can't stay in this industry for that long with that. It's body breaking.
Okay. Okay. Like it's like literally physical labor.
It's why I wanted to. It's why I didn't want to be behind the table.
Yeah.
I knew I didn't want and I couldn't. My body was never going to sustain itself grooming
Hmm.
until I don't want to groom until I'm 80.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
want to be able to retire.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is not something that's really talked about.
Hmm.
And small businesses, very few have insurance,
Yeah.
dental, healthcare, 401k programs, disability insurance. There's so many levels that we
Hmm.
don't still do that are common practices in other industries
Yeah.
that we're not seeing.
God.
If a corporation does not depend on their grooming sales to keep that business going, they depend on people purchasing retail. That's where
Okay.
they're making their business.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
they're making their money. It's not in the
Definitely.
grooming shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
A daycare and a boarding kennel. I don't think very many people really care if their grooming shop ever goes into the profit lines high. I think they're looking at it more from daycare and boarding make our money. As long as the grooming shop's breaking even, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because it's really hard to make a profit off of groomers.
definitely, definitely. And there are to wrap this up, let's look at the bigger
Mhm.
picture. WPGA is clearly more than a school, and it's like a movement, to transform how this industry is perceived and practiced, right? So, what
Yeah.
legacy do you hope WPGA will leave behind for the grooming and pet care world?
You know, I just hope somebody wants to take it over and continue its mark.
Yeah.
I hope I have somebody who I can trust and leave it to, because I
Uh-huh.
can't do it forever. And hopefully that there is somebody that wants to continue it. I don't have a family member who is doing this. This is not a family business. A, this is this is my mark, and I just hope there's somebody that wants to take it over. I think there are people that are going to be interested, but
Definitely.
we
Yeah.
have a lot of room to grow,
Mm.
and we have a lot of there's always room to grow.
Yeah.
I think right now,
Mm.
where we're at with this transition, it's going to be interesting to see what the next 5 years
Yeah.
brings, because I see the 5 year mark and I see the 10 year mark.
Yeah.
Now I got to get everybody else on board with it,
Yeah. Yeah. And what
meaning the industry on board with it.
yeah, definitely. And what current challenges you are facing as of now?
Getting our vision out there,
Yeah.
marketing,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
getting our vision, getting that out there. We were very unclear on it for a number of years, and we have just finally got it clear. And I think it's starting to come together. But it's taken a long time. It's the challenges is real. I mean, we had to really our customer persona changed so many times. And I
Wow.
feel like that now that we've hyper focused in on the one, because it's hard. And I know I can see it. I can see everybody in the grooming, or just people getting into a small business and going, but I have so many people to target. I have so many different, and it's hard to channel in on that one. And now that we finally have done that, and things are starting, it's starting to stick.
Love it. Love it. And guys, that brings us to the end of today's episode of the Pet Brand Podcast. Thank you so much, Dara, for your valuable
Thank
insights
you
and
for
inspiring
having me.
stories. Yeah, definitely. It was amazing conversation. And To everyone listening, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with fellow pet industry professionals. I'm Varnit, and I will see you next time with another conversation that helps you grow, innovate, and succeed in the pet business world. Until then, take care.